How do you solve this problem? Well, it's pretty cool and it's pretty simple, so let me show you. You've got a system of equations and two pairs of solutions, and you need to find the addition between the y values of those two solutions. Now, how do you do that? Well, let me show you. You've got your equations. Now, there is something pretty cool about this one. You can factor out a -1 from that equation, and you'll see something pretty cool. So if you have -1 outside, you're gonna have 27x minus 54y, and this is equal to this side, 9x squared minus 19. Okay, now this equation, the one that we have on top, it's pretty important. Now you can see maybe some resemblance between these two numbers in the bottom and the coefficients in the top. These two numbers are factors for these numbers right there. And the numbers in the top, they share a common factor of -9. Well, yeah, it's technically -9 when you multiply by this -1. So that means that we can factor out -1 from there. And then we're going to get back to these numbers that we have right there. Let me show you what I mean by that. So if we take out -1 from 27, -9, I'm sorry, from 27 and 54, we're going to get -9 times 3x minus 6y, and this is equal to 9x squared minus 19. Now you can see this is pretty cool. We have 3x minus 6y, and we know how much 3x minus 6y is. That is just simply -5. So we can plug that value in there, and we can then solve for x. So let's see what we get. We're going to have -9 times -5, and this is equal to 9x squared minus 19. Now this is going to be the same as positive 45 9x squared minus 19. Now you can subtract -45 from both sides, and you're going to get that this is the same as 9x squared minus 64. And now you probably know this form. This is a difference of perfect squares. You just simply have 3x minus 8 times 3x plus 8, okay? This is a difference of squares. Remember, this is a special product. So now we need to find x. And so in order to do that, well, one thing we need to do is to see what number, if we plug in any number into these factors, what value will get us 0. So if you can get, remember that multiplication by 0 will give you 0. So if you can make one of these factors be 0, then you're good to go. You found x. So now we know on this factor right there, we need x to be equal to positive 8. So we'll get 0. So we would get that 3x1, remember that we have two solutions, so this is going to be 3x1, should be equal to positive 8. So we get that x1 is equal to 8 over 3. Now what about this factor right there? We're going to get that 3x2 is equal to, we've got positive 8, so that should be negative 8. And we would get that x2 is equal to negative 8 over 3, okay? Now what can we do so that we can find, we've got our x values, and now we need our y values, and then we're going to add them, and we're good to go. So now what can we do in this case? Well, we know that we found x, and the simplest equation that we have is this one up here. So if we plug in x into that equation, we're going to have 3x, and now let's try x1 first. So we're going to have 3x times 8 over 3 minus 6y is equal to negative 5. Now we know this is just going to give us 8 is equal to 6y minus, and actually this is going to be, that you can move the 5 with a positive sign, so you're going to get 8 plus 5 is equal to 6y. And we know this is 13 over 6 is equal to y, okay? This is how much you get for y, and this is y1. Now let's try y2 with x2. So again, we're going to have 3 times negative 8 over 3 minus 6y. This is equal to negative 5. And now we're going to have the same thing, but now we're going to get negative 8 plus 5 is equal to 6y. So we're going to get that This is gonna be negative 3 over 6, and this is equal to y, okay? Now we got this. So now this is how much we get for y1, and I missed the y2 right there. This is y2. Now we need to add those two values and see how much we get. So if we do y1 plus y2, this is gonna be equal to 13 over 6 plus negative, we had 3, not 1, 3, or you could say this is 1/2, but we also have a denominator of 6, so you can just leave it like that. So you're going to have minus 3 over 6, and this is going to be the same as if you did 13 over 6 minus 3 over 6. And you get that 10 over 6 is equal to y1 plus y2, okay? This is how much you get, and if you want to simplify, you just get 5 over 3. And this is the answer for this problem right there. If you have this system of equations, two solutions, find the sum between the y values, okay? That is how much you get for this problem. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the following one.